Hi, my name is Kathleen Hart. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Environment Department's Communications Manager, and I'm a Boston Air partner. So basically what I do is I'm responsible for working with the department's diverse teams to understand the different initiatives and help create outward-facing content that allows residents to digest and learn and engage with environmental-related resources. What I love about working in my department is that at the center of the Environment Department's work is science and innovation, with many opportunities for creativity and empathy. So our programs and initiatives are in a constant cycle of creation and adjustment, engagement, and transformation. It's really rewarding on a small scale when you interact with someone, whether it's about a zero waste tip or an energy tip, and also in big ways when you see large scale implementation and change on a citywide scale. I think one misconception about the Environment Department, and I see this a lot on our social media, is that I'll share a tip about how one person individually can take climate action. And people will respond and say, well, why are you telling us, like an individual person, an individual resident, to take climate action? Why aren't you focusing on the largest problems, the largest emitters? And we completely agree. In the Environment Department, we focus on both. So in terms of individual and community-based, we're working on that, but we're also focusing on large-scale initiative and large-scale policy that focuses on targeting emissions and targeting climate change at its biggest source. A challenge or issue that our department is interested in and has been working on is creating meaningful engagement with diverse audiences. So these technical and complex policies, we want to take that opportunity to expand and improve the messaging and meet residents where they're at. What we want to do is reach new audiences and people who may not know that the Environment Department and the work we do impacts them, whether indirectly or directly. So two policies or programs that are interesting to community members. The first one that comes to mind is community choice electricity. So what this is it's a city-run program that works to make it easy and affordable for residents to power their homes and businesses with renewable electricity. It's arguably the most simple way and impactful way that residents can take action on climate change, with the opportunity of long-term benefits of reducing emissions, but also short-term benefits on cost savings. Another program that comes to mind is the Building Emissions Reduction and Disclosure Ordinance, and that's a mouthful. We call it BERDO. So this is a newly amended policy that requires Boston's largest buildings to become carbon neutral by 2050. So large buildings account for 50% of emissions in Boston, and 86,000 buildings in Boston need to be retrofitted. So while we're working to provide residents with the opportunity to take action, we're also targeting Boston's largest emitters and holding them accountable too. And the last program that comes to mind is Climate Ready Boston. So Climate Ready Boston is an initiative that works to protect residents from the short-term impacts of climate change that we're already seeing and the long-term impacts that we're anticipating down the road for those to get worse if we don't reduce emissions. So we have a heat resilience study that we're working on now, which actually looks at the hottest places in Boston overlined with red-lined communities. Through art, you can actually make the most impact in getting people to take action and also feel hope when you have an issue like climate change that's extremely scary, but also an opportunity to grow our communities and see a better, resilient, equitable, and sustainable future for all Bostonians. We know that climate change disproportionately affects people of color, low-income communities, people who are houseless, and more. And I think an artist would be great to create ways to connect with those communities in different ways than we historically have. Well, thank you so much. I hope that this has been helpful, and I'm really excited to see your applications and hopefully work together in the future for a better Boston.